everyone, welcome back to Stephanie Plans and Reads. Today I thought I would take you through my book journal for 2025, see what we've done so far, and talk a little bit about how I'm using my book journal and just give you a sense of what's going on. So on the outside here, I have some book-related stickers. I don't stick them on to the planner. I use washi tape and then I can use them again. Inside, I've shown you this before, I did a washi sticker, like wallpaper. I just like the way it looks. I used kind of all the same tones in this one, kind of give it like that old world feel. Some of the stickers here that I've used are from Planner Monkey Co. And so that's this one there. Just put my reading journal and put the 2025 there, but there's really nothing on this sheet. So here I have a TBR. I've used Coffee Monsters Co. washi, and I put books that I want to read on this page. I haven't updated this page in a while. I do have a work planner and I work at a library, so lots of times the books that I want to read go in there and then I'll transfer it here. Here I was doing a book of the month, and again, Coffee Monsters Co. washi, and then I'll have a book of the year here. I haven't filled in my book of the month for July yet. So I will come over here and look at what I've read for July and see what I gave a 4-star to. I think probably The Maid was my favorite of those books. So I'll just take my Uni Jetstream and add that to this. Okay. Then on the next page, what I did was a reading goal bingo, and it's not really bingo because I've used all the squares, so that's more than bingo. But what I did was I figured out how many books I wanted to read, and then broke it down further into how many like romantic books or how many detective fiction, and just came up with about, I think there's 40. It's 5, times 8, so 40. And as I'm meeting the goals, I just use my Tombow to kind of cross them off. So far I'm pretty pleased with what I've gotten to so far. I have read 70 books, and so, and it's the beginning of August, so I feel pretty good about my goals thus far. I did nothing with this spread. Now here are kind of my favorite spreads, I guess, because here includes the breakdown per quarter, and I like to have a little bit of data with my stuff, and I do this also on Goodreads, but I like the data to be analog. So I put how many books I want to read in the quarter here, and then I've broken it down into January reading, February reading, March reading, and these stickers are from Coffee Monsters, or from Planner Monkey Co. And then I'll write down the book that I read, the genre, and how many stars I gave it on the left side, and then on the right side I divide it into mysteries, romance, and other, because those are generally the overarching genres that I read, and then specifically detective fiction, cozy mysteries, historical romance, contemporary romance, romantic suspense, nonfiction, spy, and classical. And then I just filled it out. So this is the first quarter. I read 31 books in the first quarter, so 11 more than my goal, which was good. Second quarter, pretty good. Read 30 books, and I also total up how many of each genre I read so that I can keep track for my reading goal. And then we're on the third quarter. Again, my goal is to read 20 books. And I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the month of July, so we can put a little 9 there, and then we can put 4, nothing, 1, nothing, 3, and 1, and that should add up to 9, and it does. And then we have the fourth quarter. So then in the month layout, I wasn't doing anything, so I had kept them blank, and I was just, not doing anything with them. And I wanted to get those Canon IB or Sprocket, HP Sprocket little printers that you can print out on photo paper, and you can make these little book cover stickers. But I didn't have one, and so I never did it. But then I thought, why don't I just print them out on regular paper and then just glue them on? So that's what I've been doing. So this is what I read in the first month, and I put them every other square. So I found the picture on, I'll explain the process first. So I found the picture on Goodreads. I pasted it into a Word document, and then I just sized it to fit in these squares. And you can size it to anything really. And then I just printed it out and cut them out. And I'm using the Zig two-way glue stick pen thing to stick them on. And so I'm going to stick them every other day because I don't want it to be, all in one area. And then on the bottom of each one, I'm going to put the star rating. And I'll probably use my Clenna for that. So I have the data in my, my quarter. So it was nonfiction. I gave it 4 stars. This first one, Complicit. So I would just go ahead and go like this. I know there are stickers that you can get that are the star stickers, and you can color them in, but I've just done that. So I'm going to do that for the rest. I've basically printed out everything from last quarter or quarter 1, and I'm going to work my way at gluing all of those in. So I think that's a really fun way of seeing what I read. I love looking at the covers, so this works for me. I'm going to enjoy that. So that's what's in my months, or what will be in my months once I put it in. Okay. So in the weeks, what I've done is on the left-hand side, you have, I'll show an example of a blank one. So you have your horizontal week here and then a blank page here. So on this side, what I do is I write down what I read and the page number, and I do that in blue. And then any other writing in here is usually black. So it's really only the book and the page number that gets the blue. And the black is all notes. So either the rating that I gave the book, any kind of ideas I have about the book, if I want to say, oh, I hate that character, just little things. And then on the right hand side is usually my goals at the top. What do I want to do reading wise that week? And if they are if there's longer notes about the book that I've been reading, or if I have a review or whatever I want to put in there. And then I decorate them pretty randomly. I try and use up stickers from Happy Planner or sticker kits. I also use washi and pet tape. I have some, like this pet tape, for example, beautiful pet tape from London Gifties. But I also have some washi tape shop, some freebies from Sterling Ink. I got some, I think this is Once More with Love, washi, and this is Washi Tape Shop. So yeah, I just try and change it up so that the stickers don't all go on the same side. And I'm not worried so much about my writing or trying to make this look pretty. I just like to pretty it up enough so that I like to be in it, but it's mainly, a record of what I read and what I felt about what I read. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do one next year, but I do like going through them. This is the second year that I've done it in a N2 from Sterling Ink, and I think it really works well for this kind of thing. There's not too much space so that you're thinking, oh, what do I write? And I don't always use the space, so I'm not forcing myself to write down things that I don't need to. If there's nothing to write, I don't write, and that's just the way it is. So you can see like there's space here that I don't, end up filling, and I'm okay with that. I like that it's a whole bunch of different stickers and colors and styles. I like this. I really like this this week. Leftover stickers from kits. Happy Planner stickers. This is this week. No, this is last week. You can see like quite a bit of space here. It's because I didn't finish any books last week, which is strange for me. And then this week, this amazing tape here is from IB, and there's a link in my description if you want to see more from them, and there's a discount code as well. So if you want to, and you get this, I'll just show you, but you get this amazing box. It's so useful. Yeah, so that's my weeks. And then when we go to the notes pages, my original intent was to write down reviews. So I started off really well writing down reviews, as you can see. But then at some point I realized that's not going to be sustainable, and I stopped doing reviews. Basically, I read for enjoyment, and I read for knowledge sometimes. But I just don't feel the need to write a review, and I don't have the time or inclination with other things that I'm doing. So I've stopped doing that. But, there's space for me to go back and write reviews for things that I've already read that I want to write down. And I tend to do that more for like nonfiction or books that really spoke to me. But I read a lot of genre fiction, as you can see. So some of those books are purely enjoyment, and I don't really have a lot to say about them. Okay, so then at the back, I have a list of series that I'm reading and tracking them for, just I'm going to change this, just for my own interest. And I like to read series, so I started here, and then I realized that I had too many, so I kind of started another line here. But they're just like the series that I like reading, and then I check off the book once I read it. And normally I read like one from the beginning. I know some people don't care about that, but I do. So some of these, like this series is already read, so I read that. And I try not to put things that I've already read, but if the author is, I've read up to their, like, what they've released, then sometimes we just have a completed tracker here. I'm reading Sandra Brown. I don't know if anybody reads Sandra Brown. She's a very prolific romantic suspense writer, and that's one of my favorite genres, is romantic suspense. So I'm reading her backlist, but she's written books, like so many books. So I just have the from 1989 up, and then I check these off. I'm not going to go all the way back to when she started writing, or I don't think I'll have the time in my life. Yeah, so there is my book journal. I really like the way it's evolving. I am going to continue with putting on the stickers in the months, so I'll probably show you that an update closer to the end of the year. I think the sticker and paper situation really worked out well. So if you are like me and you really like, the way that this looks, and you see people with the Canon Ivy and all that stuff, you don't have to buy that. This is a very cheap alternative. I don't have a printer, so I printed it at my library, and it's like 50 cents per page for color. And so it's really economical way of having the same effect that some other people may have on social media, but in a lot cheaper than a Canon Ivy would be, or similar printers. Anyway, let me know what you think about my reading journal. Do you have a book journal, a reading journal? How are you organizing it, setting it up? Is it one of those beautiful, bullet journal style with really thick paper and beautiful drawings and things like that? Or is it much more rough and ready like mine? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.